How's it going, everybody? This is Deadly. Today I'm making some video responses to a lot of questions I get on my live stream in regards to YouTube and broadcasting. A lot of people want to know where to start because they want to start making YouTube gaming videos or vlogging or anything, and they just don't know where to start. So I'm going to kind of talk about my experience with YouTube and where I got started, which eventually led into some of the craziest stuff that has ever happened to me. Honestly, without YouTube, I probably wouldn't have a job. I probably would be still, in massive debt. I would be lost creatively. I wouldn't be so busy, and I wouldn't have got so much experience in this awesome new field, which is online media, which is only just getting going. So I really have to thank it all to this area here. This is where I first started YouTubing almost 10 years ago. Although I'm not the biggest YouTuber in the world, I am very passionate and I love it. I love the scene. I love talking to other YouTubers. I love personally helping other YouTubers along in their creative path. And I like the whole Twitch community and the gaming scene online. And it's why I'm so passionate about it. It's literally my job. I work for YouTube Multi-Channel Network. I worked for TGN as head of partnership content acquisition, which means my job was to build a team to go out and work with other YouTubers to try to find them services and benefits that will help them grow their YouTube channel. I did that for 3.5 years, and for the past 12 months, I've been doing a very similar role with a new company called Freedom. And I have done a lot of different things for that company. I started off doing content acquisition stuff. I've rolled into helping different brands start. I've done personal one-on-one VIP support for different partners. Now I'm helping do internal operations. So there's a lot of stuff that I personally do way behind the scenes, more so than my YouTube channel and my Twitch combined. So that's what I do during the day. So whenever I stop my stream, and for 7 to 8 hours after that, I'm constantly just working with YouTubers, working with people in the scene with different careers and different opportunities inside my network and other networks, and doing consulting and speaking to YouTubers. That's literally my job. So I get this all the time on where you want to start, and I tell everybody kind of the same thing. And number one, if you want to start creating, it's not free, but everybody can do it. Everyone's got a cell phone. So if you have a creative idea that you want to go out and record, you have your cell phone, you have a really good video camera. Some even go up to like 60 frames per second now. It's craziness. So back in the day, you didn't have that. Little cell phone cameras were not good enough 10 years ago. You used to have to get these like flip recorders and little handheld recorders that were still like 4:3 aspect ratio, which is not widescreen. So the game has changed quite a lot, but it's made it easier for people to get online and make their content and create it. So for me personally, I know gaming very well. So there's a couple things. If you want to be a YouTuber, you're going to have to get the hardware to do it. So number one, you're going to have to get a recording software like DxTory or Fraps. You can even do it with open broadcast software, but the quality won't be so good. You can also do it with Shadowplay if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, but again, the quality isn't as good. If you want to do it the best, you got to go with DxTory and get that installed, buy the premium, buy your licenses. If you can't afford it, try to finance it some way. There are ways to get it online, but I recommend owning all your licenses. And that's probably your number one start. And then also find a video tutorial on how to get the best rendering settings for DxTory. I'll include a link to that in the description box below, because people have done it way better than I am who are more qualified at it. So there's lots of guides and tutorials online. Second, you're going to need to get a good headset or recording software device you're going to need a good recording device. So number one, this is an Astro A40. It's not so bad. It's not the greatest though. I use a Blue Yeti condenser microphone with a pop filter and a stand, because you don't have a stand and you set it on your desk, every single time you hit the keyboard, it's going to make a bass sound. So you're going to need a decent microphone. You can probably get a Blue Yeti for only like $80. So it's really not that expensive. But the most expensive aspect of this, if you are a PC gamer and you want to do like Let's Plays or game guides or start recording your footage, you're going to need a computer with a really good CPU and processing power. And you're also going to need a lot of hard drive space. So you could probably get a computer. that's costing around like $800, but that's probably on the lower end. So it's going to cost you a lot of money up front. And that's before your licenses and your programs that you want to use. So if you're using a Mac, I'm pretty sure Final Cut Pro is free. So you can just get that right on your Mac. But if you're not using a Mac, the default Windows software is not good enough. It's Windows Movie Maker, and you're going to have a hell of a time using it. You can probably get by, but you can't do live commentary as it's going along. If that's important to you, then great. If it's not that big of a deal, then, well, you don't have to care about it. But I recommend using Sony Vegas if you're a beginner and just getting started. It's very easy to use and user-friendly, and a lot of people, if not the majority of gaming YouTubers, use Sony Vegas because it's really easy and it does exactly what you want it to do. And if you're a more advanced user, a more creative style, if you do a lot of machinimas or you want to do animation, Adobe Premiere and also After Effects are two programs that are really good that you're going to want to pick up. On top of that, you're going to need to get Photoshop, and I know Photoshop is probably one of the most expensive pieces to the arsenal, but it's one of the most important because you use it for your thumbnails, for creating overlay text that doesn't look like crap, for editing images together, for making keyframes. There's so many things that you can do with Photoshop, and you're going to start using it for other things, like for work. If you pick up Photoshop for a skill, that can translate into the real world if somebody needs to do a marketing pitch, or if your company that you're working for needs to put together a quick advertisement that looks really nice. You can start working on those skills that will benefit you outside of YouTube. So Photoshop is something that I use almost every single day. So pick it up if you want. You can get and lease it out for like $10. So let's just recoup here. So you're gonna need a decent computer with good enough CPU and hard drive space. You're gonna need a good microphone with a pop filter, and stand is optional, but I recommend it. You're gonna need a recording software like DxTory. You're gonna need editing software like Sony Vegas. And you're gonna need something to make cool thumbnails and keyframes for your videos, like for Photoshop. So if you get all that together, and you have every single piece that you need, the next thing is all up to you, and that's a creative idea. So when it comes to gaming, it's not so bad because either the creativity can go through what you do inside the actual game engine, or you get a really cool shot, like a really good recording of something going crazy in DayZ standalone, or a good Call of Duty match or something like that. But you're going to want to think a little bit outside the box, because there are literally thousands upon thousands of people that are doing the exact same thing. So you got to sit down and think, okay, what can I do that's a little bit different than somebody else? What can I do to make a video that appeals to a certain set of audience? So my creative idea was my Warcraft leveling shows. And I know it sounds really strange, but I was sitting down one day and I was thinking, what is something that nobody really does in Warcraft, but there's a huge audience? And it wasn't endgame, because there's hardcore raiders. If you play the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's hardcore raiders, there's high-level arena players. But at the time in Cataclysm, there was a poll released that 90% of the player base wasn't even at the end level, and people were struggling. They wanted guides on how to become better players in the game. So I decided, hey, I'm going to make a series, a guide, taking a character from level 1 all the way to 100, record it all, every single level, explain what I do along the way, explain my abilities, my decisions, recommend areas to go to, recommend strategies on how to play that class, and then put it together, complete the entire series, link it together, and then make a cool little montage video of all the levels that I hit during the entire series. And it was a hit. People really loved it. And I got on TGN World of Warcraft and I did 2 series for them, and both of them have like over 100,000 views of video with like 3,000 likes. People really like that kind of stuff. And it was a unique niche that nobody was really targeting at the time, and people knew me for, which was great. So that was my idea that really kind of got things going. And now it's a little bit more like role play, weird stories and encounters in DayZ, or just some really cool action in DayZ, which is less creative but still entertaining to people who really like that game. So you need to find something that is unique to yourself and that people are going to be drawn to you. Another thing could be to build your personality, and that's something that I don't really do, which is doing a lot of face cam stuff, or building that gaming persona, become kind of like a gaming icon. So it doesn't really matter what game you play, people just want to watch you experience that game. So having a face cam up, kind of trying to tell a story, being really goofy, being really comedic, just being yourself and playing these games. And some people might be drawn to that and want to watch you and kind of suggest different things for you to do. So you do need to just kind of settle in there and kind of find out what area works best for you. And the only way you'll be able to do it is by trying. So, hey, I recommend it to everybody. I guess the final piece of the puzzle, and this is something that not everybody has, but a voice that they can listen to for long periods of time. And this comes with age. So if you're a young guy, if you're like 13 to 14 and you're just getting started, hey, I started when I was 14, but for years I was really bad. In my opinion, the stuff I made back then was not the greatest, but I tried and I kept trying, and somebody noticed and somebody gave me an opportunity, and then they realized I had other skills. So then they gave me a job, and then that job led to a career, and now that career is doing very well for me. And I have to thank it all to this little room right here, this little area where I just sat down, recorded the games that I played, and had a blast doing it. So for all of you that are interested, for all of you who are interested in getting started, why wait? Just start thinking about some cool ideas and the games that you love to play, and start recording things that you think people would love to watch. And you never know, you might start making a YouTube channel and get a fan base going, an audience that really wants to watch what you do and share those experiences with their friends and thereon. So anyways, guys, if you thought this video was informative or just interesting, then let me know in the comment section below, and I'd love to make more videos on different topics that you guys want to hear from me. So anyways, thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next leveling series or the Daisy videos. Peace.